Real big wall, really huge, big wall. No, I'm completely kidding. But whether you agree with Donald's idea of a big, massive wall or not, illegal immigration really does affect each and every single one of us, no matter your opinion on it. The U.S. is currently home to 11 million illegal immigrants, and in this speech I want to give you information on just that and let you show you some stats so you can decide for yourself, really. Just let them talk for themselves. So build that wall, right? No. So maybe you agree, maybe you don't. Like I said, it doesn't really change that. Three major things that it affects: drug trafficking is a big problem, unemployment rates, and it drains our economy. So I want to start with drug trafficking. One major problem in the United States currently is drug abuse. According to FBI.gov, 1,488,707 arrests were made involving drug abuse violations. In that same year, 51,162 drug-related deaths were recorded in the United States, such as overdosing or death while under the influence. Anybody ever had somebody die from overdose? So it might not affect you. Some people may not affect right to you, but a lot of people it really does have a major effect on things like that. Second problem, how that kind of correlates to our borders is in 2016, the U.S. Border Control confiscated 1,294,052 pounds of marijuana, 9,062 ounces of heroin, 8,224 pounds of meth, 5,473 pounds of cocaine, 15 pounds of ecstasy, and 1,034 pounds of other drugs, while illegal immigrants were either trying to enter through our borders or around our borders. So we really need to get a hold on this issue when it comes to drugs getting in through our borders. Otherwise, we might end up like Mexico in 2008 when they had a drug war between the cartel and the government and it caused crossfire between the citizens and the state. Another reason why is unemployment. The 11 million illegal immigrants that I told you about earlier that are currently in our nation represent about 3.7% of the U.S. population. About 8 million of those illegal immigrants are undocumented, so that accounts for about 5.2% of our workforce, and you can see that on KJOS Immigration Conflict on CQ Research in the Ball State Library. But what would America look like with 8 million more jobs? Would it aid government spending on welfare, or would it cut some of our debt per U.S. citizen, or would it even lower the money we spend annually on people without jobs and supporting them? Another major problem is the effect on the economy. The United States is $19 trillion in debt, which I'm going to show you this real quick. Get out of here.
I see a button.
It's even grown since the last time I made this presentation. It continues to go up every second, as you can see. So we were at 19 trillion when we made this about 2 weeks ago, and now we're at 21. So that's pretty crazy right there, just how it jumps over and over and over again. It's obvious that we need to do something and worry about this situation because how it continues to grow is pretty crazy. So the 8 million undocumented workers pay about $13 billion towards federal and local taxes, which is, we see that as quite a bit. However, we spend $113 billion per year on illegal immigration, while they also get tax benefits for living in our country. So the current wall coverage that we have right now, the U.S.-Mexico border is approximately 1,951 miles long, except we only have 700 of that fenced for some reason. And I got that from U.S.-Mexico Relations from Reed Kareem and the same Ball State Library at CQ Research. So how much do you think drugs are being smuggled through the 1,251 miles yearly, or how many has been passed from going through the borders? Current steps in place to stop drug trafficking. Well, in 2013, we had more than 21,000 federal government agents on the borders. We also paid for $135,000 for a portable device that kind of goes on the top going through the border. It's kind of like binoculars, except you can see thermal and infrared vision, so you'd be able to see drugs or things like weapons trying to come through our borders. These devices and people are things we need to invest in as a country to continue to make our borders more secure. I mean, honestly, what would a drug-free America look like? It's something completely different. You might say that the borders are too strict, or that the others might say that's too relaxed, but how do you think people felt before 9/11? Did you think that maybe people thought that we were a little too harsh on people trying to come into our country? Or would it take something like that, again, for the citizens to realize that the United States is dangerous already, letting alone threats crossing our borders and getting into our country? Solutions to limit illegal immigration: let illegal aliens go through a process, and if they're accepted, they could stay in the United States and become tax-paying citizens, or construct a wall across the entire U.S.-Mexico border. I personally stand for the system. So the U.S. pays about, like I said earlier, $113 billion yearly for illegal immigration to live in our country. For this reason, if they were given an identification number and a temporary visa to work in the United States, why not let them stay? We do have to remember that in 2014, 114,653 illegal immigrants were caught in participating in criminal activity. So we would have to add regulations on if they were arrested, if they would be deported, or what kind of criminal record would they have, or if this was a band of crime, what could really get them sent back home. Or we can go the route of constructing a wall. Donald Trump spoke a lot of illegal immigration in 2016 campaign, made his ideas widely known about what he wanted to do. In his immigration speech, he actually, it says on the New York Times, written by Nick Corsini, we will build a great wall along the southern border, and Mexico will pay for the whole wall, 100%. They don't know it yet, but they're going to pay for it. However, President Nito, after meeting with Trump, pretty much told him that wasn't going to happen, so where would the funding even come from? That's once again why I like the idea of letting them stay, because if we made them tax-paying citizens and they could work and they could show how they're working, we can continue to use that extra income, which we haven't had before, to fund the wall, and then after that is eventually done, we can just start chipping on our debt one piece at a time. It's time to come to reality that illegal immigration causes a lot more problems than we think and can be much more serious than we truly know. We need to take the reins of the drug epidemic and along with the reins of unemployment rates to stop this downward spiral of debt we are currently stuck into. That is why we need to address illegal immigration now before it destroys our country from the inside out. That's it.